I do believe I saw my next guest come in, a very special guest, to talk about a big event this weekend. It's Barnaby Evans with WaterFire.
How are you?
Nice to see you, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Delighted
this is
to
the
have you
studio,
here.
and this is where we talk right to.
So I can see you did see me come in.
I did. Nobody goes unnoticed here.
Right.
We have a lot of windows. I'm always glad when folks find us, so you can come on in, get you situated.
Yeah.
You've got a big WaterFire on Sunday.
We do. That we're delighted to share with you. First of all, congratulations on the success of the broadcast. They've been fun to watch.
Thank you.
I'm one of the people. I'm sure there's more than one that I was watching.
We
which
appreciate
is great.
it.
Yes, we have WaterFire this coming Sunday of the Labor Day weekend, and our sponsor was the Providence Tourism Council. And we do it with them on a Sunday because this 3-day weekend is a weekend where sometimes there's empty hotel rooms. So we want to help the economy, have visitors choose Providence as a destination, try to stay for the 3 days. So it's an experiment. Second year we've done it. It was successful last year. And we're very grateful to Providence Tourism Council to help us do that. And we've also got a surprise I can't give you the details of, but there's a funny flash mob event that's going to happen up in Water Place Basin, which will be fun. It's part of an international project. So that's Sunday around 7:25, something like that. And then the other thing we're doing for WaterFire is this is the first WaterFire we've had because of the tides for a while since Charlottesville. And we felt we ought to address the original urge of Roger Williams to create Providence. When he founded the city, he made an extraordinary statement for 1639 that he founded the city as to be a haven for all those in the world persecuted for reasons of conscience. And that sense of a commitment to, equality, liberal tolerance, thoughtful discussion. He'd invite everyone. He didn't necessarily agree with them, but he invited everyone in, and he wanted to have a community that had a civic engagement with each other with respect. And it seemed an opportunity on two levels to make a statement of the community's engagement with these issues. One was the Rhode Island Holocaust Memorial, which the Jewish Alliance had placed there about 1.5 years ago. They just recently made a modification to it, which is really quite poignant and quite powerful. They've engraved the names of about 50 Rhode Island Holocaust survivors, people who came out of the concentration camps and made a new life in Rhode Island and have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren in our community. And they added their names along the path. So if you remember the memorial, it's right there in Memorial Park, between College Street, South Main, and Memorial Boulevard, there by the World War I column. And there's a curving path that enters through 2 posts into a large white stone, and the artist, Jonathan Bonner, so wonderful Rhode Island sculptor, he calls that white stone the Life Stone. And along the curves of that path, they've carved these names. So that's the new addition. So we thought it would be a chance to make a special moment, since now those names are there. And we've invited people from across the entire community, the Jewish community certainly, but everyone else, because this is, if you remember that famous poem, first they called for the trade unionists, and I wasn't first they came for the trade unionists, and I wasn't a trade unionist, so I didn't get involved. That's the road to where hatred festers and things go wrong. We all have a stake in establishing the engagement, the respect, the tolerance, and the civic unity of our community. And so we're inviting everyone to come at 7:15 on Sunday, just to form, as there's no speaking program, we're just going to form a big circle around the memorial to show our commitment, A, to never forget the Holocaust, which was one of the intentions of the memorial, but B, to realize that this is a constant vigil. Bigotry, hatred, division is so easily ignited in the community or used by people for different purposes, and it's incumbent upon all of us to be engaged with countering that and saying, no, not here. I will not embrace this sort of hatred. And so what we're inviting people to do is to come and to watch as children of the survivors will place the lanterns in place, and then everyone's invited to walk down the path to the Life Stone and to take a glass pebble and place it on the stone as a physical manifestation of your commitment not to forget and not to allow hatred to ruin our community.
So particularly powerful WaterFire. I mean, most WaterFires have, always great themes and sponsors, but this one, as you said, in particular, following Charlottesville, has a particular significance. So,
right.
And let's talk a little bit, keeping an eye on the weather. It's
Sure.
looking like it's turning around and it's going to be a nice Sunday
Yeah,
night.
it's looking like it might be a little rain during the day, but I think by sunset it's going to be dry and going to be wonderful. We'll set up in a little bit of moisture. It's not a lot of rain, but it's looking like some storm is passing through. But you look at the tragedy in Houston and Harvey and Louisiana, and the weather's changing. We too are seeing these big, large storms, and that's a phenomenon all across the country where when rainstorms happen, they have more rain. And fortunately, the storm that's passing through on Sunday will go through and be gone.
So
We'll have
don't
a
be
great night.
deterred. Come on out because
Come on out, because it's important.
rain never deters folks from
Right.
WaterFire.
Well, actually, we do WaterFire now, rain or shine. And the reason why, we used to, WaterFire's been going for 23 years.
Wow.
And we started as a one-time event when the rivers were uncovered to say, here's something wonderful to celebrate in the community, and we invited everyone to come. And then people said, well, when's the next one? Well, when's the next one? Well, they've been saying that now for 23 years, and we're still doing the next one. So this Sunday will be the immediate one, but then it comes up again on Saturday, September 23rd, Saturday, September 30th, and then our Salute to Veterans is on November 4th. The 23rd is our project with URI. It's the 125th anniversary of URI, so we're celebrating that great accomplishment. And it's our Salute to Rhode Island educators, for teachers all across the state who receive some sort of award. We thank them. And then the Gloria Gemma WaterFire will be September 30th. So, we weave important statements and honoring people who've made the community better into many of these events. It's been a great privilege for us to get to know these people.
Do you have big
So-
plans for 25?
For our 25th anniversary, we're just starting to think about that. We've got so many interesting comments and wonderful photographs that we might put together a book. I don't know whether people still buy books. I mean, I still buy books. So, but I thought it might be nice to look at 25 years of pictures of the city, pictures of people who've done things. So that's one idea. And the newest thing we've been working is the WaterFire Arts Center, which has been a huge success. Peter Mello, the managing director of WaterFire, and I have been focusing a lot of time with a great team of people here in Providence. We've been working with track builders and with DBVW architects and O'Day Engineering, and just transformed this incredible space with the help of Barbara Sokoloff, who's a local person who could help us figure out how to do the financing for that. Bank of America was our main bank. But that's been a real revelation, because on Valley Street, there's one or two buildings had been developed, and then we bought this it had been boarded up since the 70s with a lot of environmental hazards in it. So we cleaned all that up, and it's just in the middle of opening, and we've had a great response from people, and now other buildings are being developed all around it. So that's a good project. We're pleased to share it. We should have you come. Maybe we can do a broadcast from there.
Maybe live from the Art
Yeah,
Center.
absolutely.
Go Locals, Ava Gaudet was there for Fringe Fest
Yeah,
doing a performance.
good.
So
Yes, she was.
Yes, she had great things to say about it. Again, coming up with 25, it's such, folks who've been, you have to go to experience it.
Right.
Has much changed since when you first started, or is the kind of vision remain constant, but, kind of accommodated the times, and as you said, the different events that spring up every year?
Kate, that's a good way to look at it, because we did this one piece with the fires and the water, and that was to illuminate these waters that had been under the streets and dark, and that was a statement. But it was also a statement about reinvention of the city, about this sense of reincarnation, about life coming to a dark place, and that excited people. So we've always kept the fire versus the darkness, or the fires floating on the water theme. But then we embroider the night with all sorts of different things. So this coming Sunday, we have, as I said, there's a flash mob and things like that. And we're doing a special thing where not only are we doing something with the Holocaust Memorial, but we have a number of individuals who've been very active in fighting intolerance. We've got Jim Vincent of the NAACP. We've got Ray Rickman of Stages of Freedom, which is right down the street.
Right down the street,
so
which
it's
is going
2
to be
blocks down. They're going to be open.
open.
It's going to be open till 9:30 on Sunday for people to discover it. They've only recently moved there. We've got Shinavi Shine from the Cambodian community is going to be a lighter on the boats, and Pauline and Esther, who's been working with the Armenian Genocide Project. There's been a legislative effort in Rhode Island to pass an ordinance whereby the teaching of the history of genocide and the Holocaust and intolerance is something that should be incorporated in history lessons at all grades.
Mm-hmm.
And a great consortium of people have been working on that, including the Jewish Alliance, Adam Greenman and things like that, and the Bornstein Center for Holocaust Studies on Elm Grove Ave. All of those people have been doing this good fight for all these years, and we've invited them to come on the boats to light the fires, because lighting the fires is a symbol of enlightenment and engagement and sharing a message. And we'll be playing music from many of those countries as well that night. So that's a fun thing. But looking for what else has changed is we add all sorts of new things. We're hoping with the construction that's happening down from the Turk's Head building, we'd love to bring the Turk's Head ballroom back. That was one of our favorite events, and I last night was thinking, okay, we still got this cobblestone, that cobblestone. Let's get going.
I've attended. Oh, it was fantastic. Yes.
And that's an event. We've had some great sponsors with that, and we'd love to do it. It's 2 blocks from your home. And that brought such energy into downtown.
Oh, it did.
And so we've added lots of new things.
Speaking of new, we had Quay in this week for new restaurants.
Did. Absolutely.
It's funny. I was walking by the other night. Street level's great. It looks wonderful. It almost felt a little French, like it was right there on the canal. Right, just added another element. So
right
it's
there
a city,
on the stone wharves.
Right
I had a drink there,
there
sitting there, and I think at WaterFire it's going to be interesting to see how the people discovering that.
Oh, whoa! Look at this here.
It's going to be a nice place to sit. So I think there are a lot of good things to do there.
One of the great things about WaterFire too, there's so many establishments to go to, but it's also incorporating sort of the pop-ups. Willa Van Nostrand, who comes in here to talk about cocktails. It's great to see her. So it's just so walkable. It's just so friendly.
Right.
It's just so, as you said, a community event weekend, in particular, again, to recognize the importance of the Holocaust Memorial right there, having those names there as well, having that community event.
And we should probably come in and share some of the fun things we're doing. I know on the 23rd there are a bunch of things we're doing. We should talk about. So
I would love. That's what the studio's here for. Bring it right to the people. It's going to be downtown.
Sure.
So what do you say to folks when they say, "Oh, what's the best way to do WaterFire? Like, what's the best way to park? What's the best time to come?" Because folks up here in Providence, it's great. We see folks around. But if you're coming in from out of this, a little further out, and they say, "Barnaby, what's the best way to do it?"
Well, people always ask me, "Where's the best seat?" And the point of WaterFire entirely is there is no best seat. In fact, there are dozens of different places to explore, because the idea there was what would in Europe you would call the passeggiata, or the paseo, of people wandering through the crowd, not sitting down, sitting occasionally here and there. When Bill Warner designed the park, he did a very good job of what's called passive seating. So he made lots of places to sit, but they're not benches. And the reason why you do that is if you put a whole bunch of benches there, most of the time you see a bunch of empty benches, and now you think, gee, it's empty. But passive seating is to creatively think of, okay, we'll make a stone of the right height here, and then it doesn't look empty when no one's there, but there are lots of places to sit. And so there deliberately is no one best place. And our challenge is always figuring out how to cover the cost for the event, because although we present it completely for free, there's still all sorts of expenses for us, from insurance to porta-johns to paying for the police or things like that. But it's so keep the contributions coming. We'll put a little plug in there. So we can't do it without your help and our sponsors, of course. At each of these events, to make it different, we have lots of different ideas, and more that are coming, and more that are sort of on the development table, just waiting for a chance to be unleashed.
Fantastic. Well, again, a long weekend for most folks. So Sunday. And I'm assuming
that's we got to remind people. It's Sunday, not Saturday.
And if you're one of those fortunate folks who does have a 3-day weekend, just take that breath. That's sort of the middle point.
Right.
Put it on your calendar.
Absolutely.
Know that it's supposed to clear up by Sunday evening. So just, a little rest in the weekend.
Come on down.
Take
discover all the great restaurants downtown. It's going to be a good night. There'll be, it's sort of after summer, but before all the school starts. You can get in, you can get a good seat, great meals, wonderful stuff. We're so delighted to have the Providence Tourism Council be our sponsor this year.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come in. We've been wanting you here in studio. This was sort of the perfect opportunity to bring to folks' attention, again, a very important WaterFire this weekend, and we hope to see you there. And Barnaby, hopefully we'll have you in here soon.
I hope so.
Okay,
We'll
Barnaby
talk
Evans
soon.
with WaterFire. I'll let you go around the corner.
Thank you.